I love that Blanca came up.
Hey everyone, welcome to our new gaming podcast. So you know
way down in the brain.
That's that.
Yeah, a little low. So we're in the process of updating the look of the set.
This is obviously a soft launch.
Changing things around a little bit. But we are happy to say we finally come up, after much arguing, we finally came up with a name we were all happy with for the podcast.
Was there arguing?
Oh yeah, there's lots of arguing, lots of blood.
Just arguing for the sake of arguing if I know us.
It's like arguing on the internet, but face to face.
Nice.
A little more polite.
Well, before you reveal the name, I guess they already know the name. Did they already know?
No, they don't know the
Before you reveal the name, you should say some names of some that didn't.
No,
we should
don't ever do that because
people will go back.
People will say, "Oh, I like that one better." One of the things we learned early on was don't ever ask the audience to vote for stuff because the people who then lose, like if we put out the names in a poll and saying vote for the one you like, they would all hate the name that we chose because
Not if you're in Venezuela.
What do you mean?
Then you win.
What does that
because
mean?
you're in Venezuela.
What does that
it's
mean?
a dictator joke.
Oh.
Dictator jokes.
Oh, okay.
Well, luckily we have a dictator here. It's Gus, so Gus is going to tell you the name.
Yeah, so we settled on, after much thought, discussion, argument, we have decided to call our new gaming podcast The Patch.
We were going to call it, Rishi, the Gaming Update, as like a gaming update. Wink. Barbara would love that. But then Gaming Update sounded like a news show. We're not going to be doing news.
So they were
Instead, we'll be taking news and misframing it so it's not news at all, but hearsay.
We also already have the weekly update.
Now we can, instead of a link dump, we can have patch notes, which I think is it's totally worth it.
That's pretty awesome.
Or we can distribute our link dump via README file, like a readme.txt file.
Yeah. Feels really weird to be this close to you.
Does it?
Yeah.
I like this table. Karen did a good job finding
It's a good table. It's good for gaming.
We actually emulated this after the impromptu set that we made for the remote podcast we did in San Marcos for the Gauntlet. Mm-hmm. Everyone seemed to really like that format a lot.
Yeah, and this table is actually 3D printed from.
It is.
Isn't it?
No,
it is. This
is authentic wood and metal.
Yeah, that's good that you can print.
Also, Gavin cut his hair, so apparently that's what everyone wants to talk about.
Oh yeah, my head shaved.
You want to talk about it? Dude, it's been a long. They did the zoom in.
I look ill.
He walked out of the
studio.
studio.
You know what I like about your hair is I've noticed this is that you have like reflections. Look straight at the camera. You have reflections that like ring your hair here, like just the way your head is shaped.
It's like an inbuilt halo.
You do. You have a built-in halo now that your head is shaved. I like it. I noticed it when you first walked up.
You noticed my hair?
No, I noticed your ring.
Oh, yeah.
that you get like a reflection around.
Yeah,
your
it's
head.
all part of, I did a thing with Jeff where we shaved my head and stuck it to his face, and then he shaved his beard and we stuck that to my head. We just swapped hair. So
yeah, like people do.
I swear you've done that before. We were
never done that before. We were just talking about it for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought you did that.
No, I shaved half my beard before.
Oh, yeah, you've done it all.
Well, it's not a gaming thing, but it's relevant to based on what
to
you're
get
talking
everyone
about.
to stop talking about my head.
Have you ever seen the video of the guy who shaved his own head, then made that his own hair into a wig, and wore that, and then in the middle of conversations with people, he'd go, "What is that?" And they turn and he'd pull off his own hair. Like,
why? I don't understand why he would need to pull his own hair off. Why couldn't he just be bald with a wig doing that?
Well, I think that's what makes it funny. Why couldn't you just shave your head and put fake hair on your head? Because it's funnier. It's funnier to use your own hair for a wig. This is so
but
funny
even
about
if
that.
you're using your own hair, it's still probably going to read as a wig, though, right?
No? It definitely did.
Yeah.
It definitely did.
Because it's not a color or texture thing that's selling it. It's attached to the body thing. Not that I'm one to talk.
In order to get ready for the podcast today, Burnie and I. What the fuck was that?
That's his text message tone. I'm gonna make sure. Nope, mine wasn't turned off either. But that was Gavin, not me.
Burnie and I independently went and got haircuts today to look good for.
We did.
For the podcast.
Let me see. Who wins the haircut war?
Yours looks Yours looks tidy.
Burnie's looks tidy.
Yours looks like you need a haircut.
Gus looks like he needs a haircut.
Both of your hair, they look good because they're both like sort of pre-shaped.
It's like a helmet.
I mean, they look pre-shaped. What, did we lose you? What happened? Do we need to restart Burnie?
I was just pausing. I wanted to get feeling the clean evaluation. So I know why you guys did that though this weekend. Why you guys must have gotten bored and cut your hair and cut your beard.
It's hot.
Well, it's hot, and it was Memorial Day weekend, and I don't know about you guys, but it rained at my house the entire weekend, except for Monday.
Did it?
You guys weren't rained in the entire time?
Oh yeah, I was.
Oh, I guess maybe.
Yeah, it rained like crazy.
I don't know. I don't remember what I did.
So what'd you do? Did you end up staying in and playing anything? Because I did. I had a kind of a weird thing happen.
What's that?
Well, right down the road from me, there is a board game shop, which is
Those are cool.
Yeah, but they always seem like the kind of business. It's like when you go in, you like immediately feel sorry for the people because you're like, I understand why you made this business, but not everybody's like you and your friends. Not everybody's going out and buying board games at a specialized board game shop.
Board games are games, Brandon.
What is he saying?
He's like, talk about games. This isn't the regular.
We're talking about fucking board games,
We're
jackass.
fucking segued.
What a fucking cunt.
I'm just glad that something like that can actually stay in business now. Like to me, it's like, oh, you're still in business. Thank God. Thank God you're still in business.
All they do is board games. Did you buy a board game?
I did. We bought Munchkin, which I always see people play at cons.
Card game.
Card game, and then I also
they're not supporting just board games. Fucking branched out.
Right. They already left their integrity at the door. And then I played a game called Dungeon, which is like a board game version of Dungeons and Dragons. I sent a picture to Chris if you guys want to put it up, Brandon. It is, it's a board game.
I think I played that.
Maybe if we put a board game on a video screen, then Brandon, it becomes a video game. So this is like the best picture I could find of it. This is actually on the Wizards of the Coast website.
So it's an actual Dungeons and Dragons game.
It is actually Wizards of the Coast. You might, Gus, I'll show this to you. When I went to look up the photo today to provide to the guys the podcast, it's actually a game from way back in the day, and you might actually remember seeing it places before. I'm going to pull up the original cover for the game.
Dungeon. That looks vaguely familiar.
Have you ever seen? It seems like I've seen that game before too, and it was TSR made it back in the day. So it's basically just a dumbed down versions of Dungeons and Dragons, where you basically go through a dungeon, you go into different rooms, and then you pull cards and kill stuff based on your character.
When you say you pull cards, like what do you mean? Like items or loot or monsters or?
You go into a room. You can only move 5 spaces at a time. So you don't even roll dice for that.
If you don't move an action, if you don't execute an action, can you move 10?
This is going to take a long time to explain all this.
Oh, okay.
No.
We got an hour. We got 55 minutes.
So you go into a room, depending on what level of the dungeon you're in, you pull a level card based on that monster. And you would probably have issue with some of the lower level monsters. Like, why are they not higher up?
Let's do a Let's Play.
What?
That's a
dungeon?
That's a good idea,
bring it
actually.
in.
I'll do it.
Like board game? You've played board games, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's play this.
Do you play board game at all?
How long does it take?
No, Joe, I don't play board games. I don't know why we had this conversation about playing board games.
Like when you describe walking into the shop, you're like, I've never seen these before.
No, I'll play.
Like, what's your favorite board game? And when's the last time you played one? Before this week.
With JD, my kiddo, we bought a Halo version of Risk,
Okay.
which I thought was just going to be Risk with different pieces. It's not. It's a totally different game.
Different rules.
Yeah, it's different rules.
That seems like it shouldn't be titled Risk then.
Like it has.
Like they're just brand managing.
I think you're right. I mean, it's like they should have just come up with a different name for it. But
Like, not
it's like
Risk.
When they have like Monopoly with Simpsons, it's not a different
It's the same game. It's just
right?
reskinned, essentially.
Right.
You know that
The goal of the game is to play for 25 years.
By the way, the correct answer to favorite board game has to be Axis and Allies.
I was going to say Axis and Allies, but you know what? I've never played it. I've only seen other people play it for 4 days in a row, and I felt bad for them.
Yeah, I would suggest that for a Let's
Shogun.
Play.
Shogun.
But God, that takes forever. Shogun's good.
Yeah, Shogun's good. It's the same thing. Great game, lasts a week.
Yeah.
Remember Settlers of Catan? That's a good game, right?
Have you ever played?
I've only played that digitally. The board game digitally.
There's
yeah.
a game, a board game called Diplomacy. Have you ever played that? It's a game. It's similar to Risk in that there's a world map you have to try to conquer, but it's different in that your army is represented by one token, and if an enemy's token is in a piece of land, you cannot occupy it. So there's a round that's specifically dedicated to making deals with other players. Where you're like, okay, this is how I'm going to move my pieces. This is how you're going to move your pieces. Then everyone moves at once. But if someone can fuck you by not moving, then all of a sudden your pieces can't move correctly, and then you're screwed. Like you're hemmed in, and like everything you want to do didn't work. So it's a lot of talking and backstabbing.
That sounds awesome.
There's a lot of that in Munchkin too, because when you play, you can have a thing where people can help you play, but you just go, nah, I'm not gonna help you this time. Or you have like certain races or classes that you can get for your hand basically for your character. That's a lot of fun. And I didn't know this. Munchkin is made by Steve Jackson Games.
Yes.
That's like a classic board game company, and they're based here in Austin.
Yeah,
They've
they'll
been
be
forever.
at RTX.
Are they really
Oh,
going to be
that's
at
awesome.
RTX?
Yeah, they will
That
be
makes
there.
me happy.
Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah.
You know, they actually ran an ISP in Austin for a little while.
It was IO, right?
IO.com. Boy, that's old school if you IO.com.
Are they bought by anyone? They still operate, right?
Let's find out. There's also
What did it
I was
stand
gonna
for?
say
Did it stand for
Illuminati Online? Yeah. There's a but they also make a, not Steve Jackson Games, but somebody makes, no, it's gone. They also make a Civilization board game. If you're one of
I've played Civilization as a board game.
Have you really?
Yep.
God.
I think I played Civilization as a board game before. No, I played the computer version first, but then I went back and played it. Ochre, man. The Civilization board game is all about fucking ochre. You all haven't played it. You don't know what I'm talking about.
Ochre? What is ochre? Is that like okra?
No.
Well,
it's
like the
grain.
vegetable.
You fucking control ochre, you control the world.
Fair enough.
It's like
Who knew?
it's like a base
I would've
entry level entry-level item.
What was the old school Nintendo game that was like Civilization? It was Asian. It was like Shogun Dynasty or something like that, and it was all about rice. Like hearing you say that reminded people saying like, "Oh, I used to grow so much rice in that game."
I'm not gonna like start making fun of people's uncles now.
No. That's it. I got to the limit of my racist possibilities there.
Now, Shogun was great. That's how you learned about Koku.
Yep.
I can't imagine a board game Let's Play where we could be able to pull that off, but I'm willing to try it.
What, you're just going to stick GoPros to everyone's head and like look down?
You get like an
Dice cam.
You get like an overhead shot going down onto the board.
Well,
and then
yeah.
I think like helmets with GoPros.
I mean, it would really be called watch 4 people get drunk while they
Yeah.
try and play a board game.
We
Is
should
what
have
that would
GoPros
disintegrate
attached
into, which
to
would
the
be-
beer bottles as well. For some
That's a
drink
good
chat.
idea.
Let's just put GoPros on everything.
we should
put GoPros
we
in
should
We
figure
should
this
have
out.
built in to every item you buy now.
On every chess piece.
Which is, you're from London. See, that's what they do there. Everything has a
They
camera.
observe
Yeah,
everything.
it's true. That's where
Do you have a favorite board game? Do you play board games at all? Or is this like a generational thing?
I play board games that I just got no enjoyment out. Like Operation is bullshit. Has anyone ever been
That's
good
like
at
a
that
little
game?
kid's game. That's different than a board
Is that
game.
really? This is a board game?
Yeah,
it's
but
probably like 12
it's not like
plus,
we'd be like, ooh, let's bust out the Operation. It's not
I
like,
would. I
Hungry,
saw
hungry
a thing
hippos.
the other day
But-
with people doing a drinking version of
Yeah,
Operation.
that's
I would play Operation if it hurt you. Like if when it buzzed, you
that's
got
Like we get
electrocuted.
like a taser? We could
Yeah.
do it like we could
Let's
do Operation
modify
Taser?
an Operation game. We'll play the crap out of it.
And then-
just
and
get
get-
giant car batteries attached to
Oh,
it.
you're thinking something.
I am. That sounds like a great idea, actually.
Yeah, and get tasers and shock people.
Well, it's just really,
Or
it's
just run
really.
the current, like instead of feeding it through batteries, just plug it into the wall, and then strip the insulation off of the tweezers, so that when the contact is made, it runs up and electrocutes
Or just like
you.
put electrodes on your head,
sounds like
and
you'd
just when
have
it
to-
makes that contact. Ryan could work that out for sure.
God.
He made that little.
He made my desk
He made
annoy
your
me.
buzzing desk. Has that come out yet? That video?
No, they were talking about it today. I think they're getting the footage together.
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay.
it was recorded on so many different things.
Yeah, Ryan constructed a contraption all on his own with a circuit board and resistors just to annoy Gavin.
Yeah.
And it worked flawlessly.
Wow, that's
pretty good.
amazing.
Apparently, Penny Arcade did a D&D playthrough. People are saying so. They made it work. We
Well,
can do it.
Geek and Sundry has a tabletop. I think it's called Tabletop. They have a board game show that they do where people just play board games.
And there goes someone mentioning it.
All right, Will Wheaton. Yeah, it's Will Wheaton show on Geek and Sundry Tabletop.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll watch an episode of that. And,
So we'll just
figure it out.
cherry pick their best idea. And use it. How about that?
Yeah, we absolutely should do that. I'm putting together another Let's Play that we recorded. Hopefully, it'll come out this week.
To me, if you get a group of people together and you're drinking and playing a board game, that is a different level of fun than getting drunk and playing video games. It's different.
You got people together and you're drinking.
It's true. It's a different.
It's different. It's like you're more engaged in the other people than
I
you
played
are.
Drunk Trouble.
Drunk Trouble.
It's called Trouble.
I haven't played Trouble in years. I can't remember the rules of it.
I didn't know it was called Trouble because I think I played a game, a version
In
of
the
it.
UK, it's called Problems.
It was called Frustration.
It's called How Rude.
It's the game where you have like the clicker and the dice is in a little dome so you can't lose it. It's just like
Which is a great
Yeah.
idea.
we have.
It's called Things Are a Bit Dicey.
But yeah, you can add all kinds of rules. Like if your finger slips off the dome and you don't press it properly, you got chug.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
I love
and
it.
that happens constantly after you've had a few.
I bet.
Uh,
Are you allowed to like click with your palm, or do you have to use a finger?
No,
dude, you'll miss with your palm as well.
Really?
Yeah.
How are you drunk enough? Jeez.
You gotta enforce a one-finger rule, though.
There's trouble.
Hey,
There
Drunk
it
Trouble.
is. Boy, they pulled that.
That's
That's,
like
that's impressive.
that's
they
the
pulled that
travel
out.
version of Trouble.
It looks like the political
I
version.
want them to
What
get
are
up
the
a-
faces on it.
I want to see a frustration.
That's also the. What is that? There's like faces on that or something. That's weird.
A parody version of Trouble. You just furthered someone's political agenda by selecting that. Boy, Brandon's Johnny on the spot today. Johnny.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Brandon and Chris with the photos.
That's pretty fast.
Let's talk about Jenny McCarthy.
Now, Shogun.
It's not Jenny
Shogun.
McCarthy.
That's Jolie
This
McCarthy.
weekend, or actually just the other day, I finally finished Gears of War Judgment.
Yeah, how's that?
It's really fun.
Is it Gears of War 4 basically? Is that
No,
the fourth
well,
one? The title?
it's essentially
series?
the thing where it's a prequel. It's the story of like Baird, essentially.
Okay.
So like before Gears of
Gameplay
War 1.
ostensibly the same.
It's essentially the same, but the level design is much better. The levels are much shorter, so it's like you can play a level in 6 or 7 minutes. You know,
That's awesome.
and then it's like done. Next. It's a lot more. The game paces a lot quicker. But when you're done with it, one thing I didn't know about it is that once you're done with the campaign for Judgment, there's another campaign on the disc called Aftermath. That's like a parallel story from Gears of War 3.
That's cool.
So, like in Gears of War 3, at one point, Marcus Phoenix tells Baird and Cole to go get reinforcements in a
Right.
ship. So you play as them going to get reinforcements in the ship.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's what's amazing that the gameplay is so different between the two. Like I played through all of Aftermath, I was like, this is great. Short levels. You start playing, Judgment, short levels. So you play Aftermath, it's like, wow, this is what Gears of War was like. It's like a lot longer.
Well, if you go through and you fail that mission, does it then take away all your achievements from the previous game?
No.
Do you ever play the point from the first game where they just skipped a lot of it and then you're on a train? You don't get to play what happened in between those two? Okay.
The
Still, that's
lost
still a
chapters
mystery.
of Gears of War 1.
But it's really good.
I've enjoyed Judgment from what I've played way more than all the other ones. And I really like the other ones.
I haven't played any
The controls are
multiplayer
better.
stuff though. I want to try that out.
It's weird because to me, the last Gears of War, all my enjoyment was multiplayer.
Yeah.
Like,
Really?
I'm slowly slipping into that where multiplayer is kind of becoming the main thing for me now.
One of the people who you go multiplayer first in games.
I don't know if I'm ready to say that. That's a big commitment right there.
Yeah.
Those people are weird.
They are.
Like,
They're
they're
weird. Right?
weird, right?
Yeah,
like
it's weird.
I've talked to them. It's like what? That's
Yeah.
I know a girl like Lene. She was one of the frag dolls. She was like, I don't even play the single player campaign at all. It's like, how can you not play? She's like an expert. She's like one of the top ranked
Yeah, a
people
lot
in the
of
world.
people-
Never played the single
A
player.
lot of people rack up hundreds of hours of multiplayer and they play like the first level of campaign and just go back to multiplayer.
I actually
Weird.
like in Halo, you can go through someone's service record and see when they finish the game, and I'm always surprised at how few people have actually finished the campaign.
I
that are
always
playing
finish
multiplayer.
campaign before I jump into multiplayer.
I'm the same
Yeah.
way.
And you're the same way too.
Yeah. Especially, with games that I really care about. Halo, absolutely.
Well, because the storyline is important, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I did the same thing with Mass Effect 3, which is not like a multiplayer game traditionally, but it's like I didn't even touch the multiplayer. I knew I had to cut through like 40 hours of gameplay before I could even look at it or think about it.
That's where I slowly started to make the switch because it's like I just didn't have time to fit in the full single player on Mass Effect 3, and all my friends were like, oh, you have to play, and they chipped away at me, and I finally just started like playing. And then once I started playing, I was like, this is fantastic. And then
really
like I
fun.
never got an opportunity to go back and play the single player until the end.
Yeah, in fact, I find it weird when games. I don't find it weird when a game is single player only and has no multiplayer component, like BioShock. Doesn't
Totally
bug me at
fine.
all.
Yeah.
But if a game is multiplayer only, that's just weird to me. I don't know what it is.
Like, I'm trying to think of a game that was multiplayer only, like Shadowrun. I
Shadowrun,
guess?
yeah.
I love
Defiance
Shadowrun.
It was a good game, but it's weird there was no campaign
Left 4 Dead, right?
to me. Yeah, Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead, there's no campaign.
But like you don't think of it that way.
Yeah,
Just
but,
like
I guess. Yeah.
I mean,
Could Shadowrun, could you play against PC players on the Xbox, or was it just Xbox to Xbox and PC to PC?
I think it was just Xbox to Xbox and PC.
Is there
What are you talking about?
in
For
terms of
Shadowrun?
yeah.
You know, Shadowrun was cross-platform.
Was
was
it?
it cross-platform?
I think it was the first game that was cross-platform.
How did that work out? Because I don't think I've ever played a cross-platform multiplayer game.
I never saw any issue with it. I played that game a ton, and I never ran into any issues, so it must have been fine. If there were PC players in there, there must have been.
Yeah, I think the audience is agreeing is primarily that everyone plays single player and then plays multiplayer. But do this. When you go online next time you play Halo, go into people who are in your party and look at their service record. You'll see how many people have not completed the campaign. It's pretty startling sometimes.
And this is one of those things I need to do that more. Like I never go into other people's profiles and look around.
I
just never do it. That's
good.
good.
Like
Do you do that a lot?
Yeah, in Halo, I'm constantly doing that.
I never do it.
There are some people like that as soon as the game loads, like even before it loads the main screen, like when the people are added to the party, you could in Halo 2 and Halo 3 you could go through and kind of snoop before, and they would always know who's in it before the thing even loaded. Like
It's a good thing because
I don't care that much.
I think it's like it's a motivator for sure to make you want to play. You know, I think, but I don't look that much or whatever. But like the main motivator to me is like seeing someone else doing something in Minecraft. It's like, well, now I have to go play Minecraft.
What was your most tense game in a video game, like multiplayer style?
My most tense multiplayer moment?
Yeah, like I always think of Capture the Flag in Halo 1 as being like
I think my most
super
tense multiplayer moment, I think, was playing New Super Mario Brothers with you, like years ago.
We got to do a let's play on that.
We got physical. We got into a fight.
The DS one is what you're talking
Yeah.
about. The one where you could connect wirelessly. Yeah, we would play that on a plane, and we'd be sitting there, and Jason, I remember in particular, we'd be playing. We're on a plane, waiting for them to tell us to turn off our electronic devices. Just on a plane, people get ready. All of a sudden, Jason, fuck! Just like yell out loud at the top of his lungs. Shit! And I was like, oh my god. So I just closed
See, that
my
would make
lid.
me nervous.
Yeah,
I
that made me nervous.
wouldn't do that.
I forget. I think we were going to one of the original PAXs when he was doing that.
It is impossible to sit still while you're playing New Super
Yeah,
Mario Brothers
absolutely.
multiplayer. So fun.
Yeah, I think that would probably have to be it.
A surprising one for me is Splinter Cell Double Agent from 2006.
Well, that's great.
The AI in that game is the most terrifying AI because they're so good. Like, because it's 3 agents basically against 3 AI if you're not playing against 3 other people. And you have to hack terminals. And it's just I don't think anyone has played it. I discovered it by accident with Dan, and we played the crap out of it. I got gold in every single mission, but it's amazingly fun.
Great game.
Did you play that?
I'm looking forward to. They're bringing back Spies or Mercs vs. Spies in the new Splinter Cell
excited about
game,
it.
which I don't think they've had in a Splinter Cell game since Chaos Theory.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and those were some other games that I really enjoyed on the original Xbox.
See, I played that game, but I just perused through it, so I put everything on like the easiest level, and I had no problem with the AI. So that's interesting. Like if you actually pump the AI up.
If you want to get gold, and you have a friend who
And they're
really
actually,
cares, and you're
like-
ready to put your relationship to the absolute test, really fun. But there was a lot of yelling, and a lot of stupid idiot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I always like we've talked about it before on the main podcast, Graw 2. And that was the one where when you play with people on live, the way when somebody in your party dies, the way it indicates that to the rest of the party is it just cuts off your mic. That's it. So you're all like, I'm moving up. Joel, you moving up? Joel, you moving up? Joel, and he's not there. It's like, and he's in a room, and you be in a room with a bunch of all the other dead people. So then what you hear is, like, we'd have great moments like with Gus when I play, and we played with Dan back then. I have videos of us playing with Dan.
Very
and,
early Dan.
I'd say like, oh, there's a tank, but it doesn't see me. No way to think, and then gone. It's like, and then when you're in the chat room with all the dead people, you're like, oh fuck, I don't think they're gonna finish the level. What's gonna happen? And all of a sudden somebody comes in the room, tank is fuck. It's like you instantly, the moment you die, you go into the dead room. It's one of the best mechanics.
And that also has the best realization of when you're the last dude. It's one of the scariest things. When you hear everyone like scuffling in the grass behind you, and then 2 minutes later you're like, all right guys, who's You'd go back and there's like corpses splattered. It's like, oh god.
But you do those moments where you're crouching by a silo and you're like, Gus, Gavin, anybody?
And then you start doing it to mess with people, and you just pause and you're like,
It's like a
hey, what's up? What do you need?
And then you know everybody is watching you too at that point in time because you're like the last guy to finish the map. Some of those rounds they last 60 minutes.
Yeah.
In fact, it was
That's
an
the
achievement.
hour-long Defender one.
Yeah, there's an hour-long Defender one.
I get the feeling that a lot of these older, early 360 games had much more intense. They weren't necessarily the best multiplayer experiences because they were kind of clunky, but definitely the most intense. I don't think I've had as tense games as in like Graw and Splinter Cell and all that stuff.
Well, you might be jaded too, unfortunately. That
Well,
could be
because
the
I've
case.
just
You played
gamed
so
out.
much, yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those you can't go home again things. You know, okay, so here's what I was doing. I went to GameStop this weekend, and I asked them to give me a printout for all the games they have set for release dates for 2013. And they don't have anything for the One, and they don't have anything for the PS4, but they gave me the Wii U, the PlayStation 3, the 360, and the 3DS.
Which list is the longest?
So the longest is barely is the PlayStation 4 is it's about
PlayStation 3?
PlayStation 3. It's about 10 titles longer than the Xbox 360 one. But then there's a lot of these 2014 ones that are listed at like January 1st, 2014.
Yeah.
I guess that just means announced but no release date set. The scary thing is the Wii U one, because the Wii U one is like one third of their titles are like that. They're like release date, and I don't know if you can see the list, but it's this big. It's not very long. It's probably, 15, 16 titles long on here?
Pretty short.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I printed out titles that are going to be released in the next 2 weeks, and now that I'm looking at it, you mentioned that there's not a single Wii U title on here. I don't know if I didn't get the Wii U list or there just aren't any Wii U titles coming out over the next 2 weeks.
I bought a Wii U at launch, and I can tell you that I have been back to here you go. I've been back to the game stores, Best Buy, GameStop, and I've looked on the shelves. It's been the same group of titles the entire time that the console's been out.
Yeah, the next Wii U release, according to this, is not until June 23rd, and then after that, there's nothing. There's 2 titles in July.
And what is the one on June 23rd?
Game and Wario SD.
Did you get the Wii U for mainly because your kids?
No, I got it just because it's a console.
But you get, I mean, were you sort of in your mind planning, I'm going to spend a lot of time, I mean.
No, I literally bought the Wii U because, this is going to sound weird, Tycho in Seattle did a tweet saying, I was just in the Bellevue Target, and they had Wii U's. And I said, well, I'm across the street from a Target. I wonder if our Target here in Austin has them. I went across the street, they had 3 Wii U's in stock. And so it was right before Christmas.
And that's back with a big rush, right?
But that big rush never came. I was reacting as though there was a big rush,
Yeah.
but I never saw a point in time when Wii U's were not on the shelf.
Yeah. Huh.
Even right at Christmas time.
God, because it seemed like every time you're looking, it was like, you can't get one.
The Wii,
The
Wii,
media.
yeah.
the Wii was definitely like that. The Wii was I think it was like 6 or 7 months
Yeah.
where you couldn't get your hands on a Wii. That was crazy.
Because people were scarred. But
What do you mean? I was scarred. I bought a white one, which is the lower end version, instead of waiting for the black version to show up. But you guys have played Mario on the Wii U.
Yeah, it's really fun.
It's fun. And then, you guys ever played Nintendo Land at all?
We haven't played that yet.
God, you guys would love that.
Is there a Wii U equivalent of like Mario 64? Like that kind of Mario 3D World like style game?
No.
Does that exist?
No.
Here, let's do this. Here's all the Wii U titles coming out. In June, we have Game and Wario SD. I'm not sure what SD stands for. Then in July, we have the Smurfs and Turbo Super Stunt Squad. Don't know what that is. In August, there's Pikmin, Disney Planes, Disney Infinity, Splinter Cell Blacklist. In September, Rayman Legends. In October, Batman Arkham Origins, Assassin's Creed 4, Lego Marvel Superheroes. That's going to be fucking awesome. I can't wait to play that. I'm going to do, tonight, I think I'm going to record with my kid, JD. We're going to record an achievement guide for Lego Lord of the Rings one.
Nice.
Yeah, it's where you have to get through Mines of Moria in 15 minutes or less. Then Watch Dogs is coming out in November for the Wii U. Then Scribblenauts in December. So in November and December, the only holiday games they have listed here are Watch Dogs and Scribblenauts Unmasked.
And I doubt they'll release, at E3, I doubt they'll have any like big blockbusters that they're going to announce for holiday release this year, right? They might have
What's
stuff
left?
to
They
release
gotta put
for
something
next
out.
year.
Also listed here, but with no official release date, just as January 2014, Wind Waker, Wii Fit U, Bayonetta 2, The Wonderful 101, a Pac-Man game. That actually sounds pretty cool. And then Wii U Party. I don't know if that's Mario Party, but it sounds like it. That could be a lot of fun. The asynchronous gameplay on the Wii U is a blast, and it's a shame the way that nobody seems to be making titles for it.
When is E3? Is E3 in 2 weeks at this point?
It's a week and a half.
All right, so I guess next week we should maybe do E3 predictions.
Okay?
And we should do like those gaming news sites do and develop an E3 bingo card. Bingo.
Miles did that for the Xbox One.
Yeah.
The what do they call it? Reveal.
Reveal.
Yeah, he did that.
Oh,
and he
that's
won.
awesome.
Yeah, he won. He was playing bingo.
Nice.
He won on guy with a cute accent, and it was the Australian dude who came up and talked. Was he Australian? I don't know. He talked about sports.
So Minecraft is getting a retail release
What?
on the 360, June 4th.
So does that mean 1,000 points of achievements, or is it going to be the same
It's the
achievement?
same game, just
It's just you
it's
buy it.
in a box on a disc now instead of a downloadable game.
But they have that. I mean, I've seen boxes at GameStop that say Minecraft.
For the Xbox 360?
Maybe not for the 360.
Yeah, I mean, that it says here, pre-order, June 4th.
There are box versions of Minecraft out there, the PC version, and they're really, really rare.
Really?
Yep.
I've seen sometimes at stores I see like they look like gift cards. You can buy like at the checkout line. It's like Minecraft, $15. You buy it and it's just like a code, and you go log in, create an account, and download the game. Yeah, so it's weird to me that after such a successful digital launch, that now they're years later getting a
They're reaching out
physical release.
to those few offliners.
When did Minecraft for the 360 come out?
May last year,
Yeah,
2012.
so over a year, 13 months.
Minecraft is just built for a collector's edition too, because you could just make a block. That's what you get.
Oh yeah.
You know, or
That'd be
something
a
like
great
that.
idea.
Yeah, the physical release is only $20.
I have a pretty rare. Anybody? I'm just gonna hand it to me. But I have a pretty rare Minecraft item down here. It's a wind-up creeper.
Is that rare?
Yeah, they were given at the certain level of the Kickstarter, the Minecraft Kickstarter.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so I got this one for the thing that we did. Let me see.
That's
There he is.
pre-wound.
Well, yeah, it's pre-wound. I don't even see him.
I didn't realize they had a Kickstarter.
What's that?
I didn't realize they even had a Kickstarter.
Oh, it was the Kickstarter for their documentary.
Oh, right, okay.
No, about the Mojang story.
That was a good documentary.
I thought so.
Yeah, I thought it turned out well.
That was the guy from.
That's always headed towards me.
I know.
They're always headed towards me. It's gonna blow up my laptop.
That was the guys from Two Player Productions. They did the first season of the Penny
PRTV.
Arcade. Yeah, Penny Arcade reality series. And then they went on, they covered Mojang, and then they did Double Fine too.
So over the next 2 weeks, looking at this list, I already own the 360. I already own, Minecraft. The two titles I'm most excited about are Animal Crossing New Leaf on the 3DS.
I have it right here that you would be excited by that.
And The Last of Us on the PS3 is finally coming out June 14th.
Okay, couple weird things. Did you know somebody launched a live-action web series based on Last of Us? So somebody launched a live-action web series,
Like unofficial?
a fan series. It says it's called a tribute series to Last of Us, but it's a web series based on a video game before the game even comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's people that are really wrapped up in this Last of Us deal.
Or like, how do they even know what it's about, really, or the story?
No, I'm telling you, there's people that's really wrapped up in it. Like I saw a post on Reddit that talked about 2 of the characters, and it said, here's how they're going to look a few years into the apocalypse, and then they were Zoe and Bill.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know who the characters are. Apparently there's a character named Joel in Last of Us, by the way. And it's a big deal that he has
Have we seen footage from
wispy
the game?
beard.
Yeah. I saw it at PAX East, Steven. They had it so you could play it hands-on.
Is it good?
Does he die of alcoholism?
No, no.
Is that
He
how
goes
you're gonna go?
bankrupt.
He was bankrupt and then dies of alcoholism.
He can't run away from the zombies because he's weighed down with pockets full of gold during the apocalypse, swearing it's going to be worth something. But yeah, I want to find this thing here, this web series. And then the other thing, while we're on the topic of E3, Nintendo just announced now, I'll just read the headline here. This is from Kotaku. Nintendo rewrites rules of E3, letting the public play at Best Buy. So whatever they're going to be doing at E3, they're going to have it satellite all over the country, apparently in Best Buy.
Wait.
That's
What does that
interesting.
mean? People are going to be able to play?
So they have-
Nintendo will make several, this is from Kotaku, Nintendo will make several of their unreleased Wii U games playable at more than 100 Best Buy locations during the week of E3, according to Nintendo of America President Reggie Fils-Aimé.
100.
wow.
100's a lot of locations. That's a lot. I mean, there's what,
pretty crazy.
30
That is
major
crazy.
U.S. cities?
It seems like not a bad idea. I mean,
That's a brilliant idea.
yeah, I mean,
Until those discs walk off and end up on eBay.
yeah, well, that's the one downside, but it's just sort of like, I don't know, it's a funny thing. Like a lot of the games that I know that I want to buy, I already know that I want to buy them, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that's going to do.
Here's the deal. It's like these big companies invest in these booths and these experiences at trade shows.
And
it's very controlled environment.
Yeah.
Once you put it out in the wild, who knows? Like, is it going to be by the fucking bathroom at Best Buy? Is the system not going to work? Is it going to be a negative experience for the user
That's a good-
playing
that's
the
a
game?
good point.
Yeah, it's
That's a
not
really
a
good
controlled
point.
environment. I don't think it's a good idea.
Really, I mean, they control the retail space pretty well. I mean, you know, to the point where they charge people to be like on the end cap and all that. I mean, the retail experience is pretty regimented.
Yeah, but I mean, no offense to the Best Buy by my house. I go there all the time to buy
No,
games. That game
one on the-
department sucks.
Oh, that is the worst Best Buy ever. The one on
Is
the
it the
east
one-
side?
is the one in Mueller?
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It is terrible.
Yeah.
It's a smaller Best Buy.
It's,
too.
it's like in the corner. So like a lot. Some of the cases for the games have like handwritten like pieces of paper with game titles on them
And
up
then
on the shelf.
they never have anything.
Yeah, you go and you ask for something like, no, we don't have that.
It's funny. They have every game there that you don't want somehow,
Yeah.
but nothing that you want.
Oh, you want
amazing.
You want to use copy of Little Big Planet? We got that.
We got that, yeah.
We don't have the cover for it, but it's over here.
It fell off the back of a truck. You know, I gotta say, I gotta bring it up again. I harp on this all the time, but it always amazes me. The GameStop used games industry is essentially worth billions of dollars a year. Didn't they post like $4 billion in one quarter
For used
Last
games.
quarter, yeah.
for used games? It's enormous. It's a
Yeah.
lot of money, and it always bothers the shit out of me that it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and that shitty label they have for the cases of the used games, it looks like some guy who works at the GameStop cash register made it in his spare
Are
time.
you talking about like
Like the
the
zero-
cartoon people?
What
who are,
is
like, fighting
that?
over control of that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's terrible.
It's so bad.
I never realized that was like a company-wide thing. I always thought that was individual to the store, but now that you say that, it's at every store.
Yeah, and it's like some shitty cartoon drawing that like some kid's nephew or one of the employees' nephews made. It's like who's like really good with Photoshop, so they like put it in the case.
Not even. It's like he fucking drew it on a napkin and they scanned it in.
It really is terrible. It's like, and it always bothers me. It's like, why not just make like the GameStop label on there or anything? Make it anything at all. Or you know, you're making so much money from it. Print the goddamn cover for the game. You
Might be a
know.
rights issue with that, though, right?
Or,
Oh,
okay.
maybe, yeah.
And even if it is, God, for God's sakes, just make it. Somebody who's got a picture of one of those things tweet it to me because I can't seem to find it online. But they're all the same in every
Yeah, I
damn
haven't,
place.
I haven't seen what you're talking about.
Oh,
But
you
the
gotta
fact that you
I think
noticed
I've
it
only
must
seen
be
it once.
terrible.
It's so terrible.
It lets an impression upon you.
So I think that, right now I own a one 3DS, but I think when Animal Crossing comes out,
Look at
I'm going to
you,
go ahead and
navigating the internet. arms across.
I'm going to buy a second 3DS just so that I can play Animal Crossing with my wife. And we can meet each other's towns. Did anyone else here ever play Animal Crossing? Was anyone else ever into that?
Ashley can't wait for it. I know Jeff played it with his ex-wife. He played it a bunch. Sarah. They used to play Animal Crossing all the goddamn time, all the fucking time, and I never understood the game. They were to the point where they were getting like fish.
They had spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Oh, the coelacanth? Yeah, I had played an old Animal Crossing, I guess on the Game Boy Advance, like before my wife and I got married, and one day she picked up my copy of the game, and she started playing it, and I hadn't played it in months, maybe even a year by that point, and she kept cracking up, and I went to her. I said, "What's so funny?" She said, "I'm finding all these letters you sent to people in your town." And I was like, "Oh
no.
shit! What did I say?" And she showed me, and the letter she showed me was I'd written a letter to someone in the town, and I wrote, "I'm going to murder you in your sleep tonight." I was so fucking embarrassed.
So wait, these are just NPC towns. You're threatening digital characters.
I don't know what they had done. I was in a really bad mood or something. But I was so fucking angry. I was sending them
I
death
love that you
threats.
went through the time to do that.
You're like the Unabomber. The Unabomber. Was it Animal Crossing?
Did you ever see that famous cartoon online about the guy who bought Animal Crossing for his mom when he was sick?
Oh, that's so fucking sad.
It's so sad, and he like plays the game, and then she died, and then like a year later, when he was done coping with the grief, he went back and played the game, and she'd like been sending him letters in the game and all this stuff, and he found like all the stuff presents and stuff she had sent him. And then it's like everyone's like, what a fucking heartbreaking story. And the first comment on the cartoon was, you know, the guy who had written it, you know, this whole thing about this virtual environment, how he interacted with his mom there, and he still missed her. First comment in the cartoon was some guy written, you know, your mom in the game just writes you letters all the time and sends you stuff, right? And she signs it as mom. And everybody's like, oh, you're a fucking downer, dude. What is that about? So I don't know. Is that the case? Does that really happen?
It's not like a lot of them. Every now and then you might see one.
So,
is this what
So
you're talking
this
about?
is it. This is the one variant of it. This is the multi-billion-dollar industry cover.
Yeah,
What is that?
there's another one I've seen that I think we're both talking about.
It looks
It's more
at
people.
style where it's like they're
Yeah.
like going over the top of each other and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I've always wondered, why is that label so goddamn cheap?
You
So
know, they
thanks
probably
to whoever
hired
tweeted that to
some,
us.
like kids for charity that were sick or something to
Ryan
do the label. And now
Malalieu.
you're pooping on it.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
You just
That's what
pooed on
happened there.
dying
Pooping
kids.
on dying kids.
So thanks, Ryan Malalieu, for tweeting us that
do you
picture.
find that people who interact with you from the internet, they never have a convenient name?
Yeah, what's up with
Like,
that?
if you
They
get,
never have.
There were
They
three
never
L's in
have.
that last name.
you could have James or something, right?
Yeah, your name's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Gavin Free.
It's always the same when we want to shout out someone who made a map for us in Trials Pig or something, and you just don't want to because it's like Experience 12 B1
I've had a
and
couple
stuff.
conversations with people in the company, and I'm like, oh, I'll just, I'll work with the Gavino on that. They're like, who? I'm like, Gavino. I'm like, who's?
There are
who's
some people
Gavino?
here who still call me by my
Who's
username.
Gavino?
Yeah, I maybe a little bit of a tangent, but I went to Amy's Ice Cream over the weekend, and I wanted to order, like they have like that specials board where like they mix certain things together, and the special I wanted was like the Billideaux, Billiedeaux, and I was like, I want the French one, Billideaux. They're like, oh, that's that guy's last name. He likes that. I was like, all right, I want that guy's ice cream. It's like, why,
want that guy's ice cream.
why would you make this difficult?
What's his first name? Let's do that.
Bob.
See-
The amount
Let's
of
call him-
times here that I don't order something that I think looks nice because I don't know how to pronounce it is unbelievable. Like,
Really?
Yeah. Because you pronounce stuff differently and I just hate saying it.
Like what?
Well, everything's fillet all the time.
What do you mean by that?
Well, like what we
You
would
would
call
call it a fillet
what we would call a fillet steak.
or fillet? You guys call it fillet?
Well, it's spelt fillet.
Fillet.
It is, but
No,
it's
it's
French,
spelled with
right?
two
So
L's
see-
for us. Like,
what are we talking about? No, but so you won't order it?
no,
it's
I'd just be like,
terrible.
I want a steak, and if I'll
well,
order,
that's
I'll order
fine. You get
pronounceable
by.
steak.
You
Just
get by.
point.
Like a lot of stuff on Mexican menus looks delicious, but
Oh, this is
You know,
terrible.
that's like
This is
it.
terrible.
You
You
might-
can't let that happen to you.
what I want is someone to come with me to be my pronouncer
Pronouncer.
wherever I go.
They can enunciate for you.
That's a shame because that means like you've missed out on
But
like, all
the good
sorts of
thing
good
is,
stuff.
I always try and order last because that way, if someone right before me
Oh, there
orders
you
something,
go.
I'll be like, oh, me
You're
too.
right.
Boom.
You're right.
So,
You guys think way too much about this stuff. I'm actually surprised you got your ice cream. I thought you would have just given up and left the place.
Give the guy like a death
I ordered
note.
that. That's right.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Dear Baloo, please
so-
fucking die.
I'm looking at this. I printed out a list of games that came out this week, and I didn't notice something until right now. There's an ad here. I printed this off from GameSpot. There's an ad here on the sidebar of this webpage where I printed from for Call of Duty Ghosts on the Xbox One, November 5th.
Yeah?
They didn't announce a release date for the Xbox One.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
That can be a fuck up.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes.
I mean, is November that surprising for a release date for the Xbox
No,
One?
but I mean, they actually nailed down the date. We were speculating that it would be the 12th, like 11, 12, 13.
Oh, yeah.
You can't really see it. It's pretty far. But yeah, Call of
I
Duty
feel like
Ghosts,
that happens all
Xbox
the
One.
time. You go into there and they have dates posted for stuff that shouldn't be.
So yeah, this week seemed like
11/5 is a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Y'all didn't do Awu this week.
No,
So,
it's Memorial Day.
Well, we have our new releases here. Looks like it was kind of slim pickings this week. Grid 2, Fuse. That's about it. Spartacus Legends.
I downloaded something on the console here. I downloaded a new arcade game that just came out.
Yeah, that was on my list. Where the fuck did that go? Why didn't that put
Castle
on here?
Storm, is that right?
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I'll play it while you guys are talking.
What is the deal with that game? People have been talking about it. What kind of game is it?
It's got a dragon on it, so I think it's some kind of sci-fi game.
It's a dragon game. Okay,
see.
cool.
I literally pulled it up to watch it. Castle Storm, here we go.
I was talking about how I need to play Mass Effect 3 Citadel, and I just realized I have to fucking go back and play Blood Dragon 2. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon.
Oh, Blood Dragon's awesome.
Have you played it?
that.
It's so good.
Did you play through Far Cry?
I'm playing through Far Cry now.
So you played Blood Dragon first.
And then it got me to play Far Cry.
How
yeah.
far are you at Far Cry 3?
I've killed half the outposts.
Okay.
I'm 39 miles into it. That's my current treadmill game, is Far Cry 3. Because you can stealth in it a lot. This game looks cool. Castle Storm. Brandon, can you pull this up by any chance?
Yeah, I think it's switched to it.
There we go. All right. So you should sit here while I watch me play a game.
Um,
Hey, there's a couple of things, though. This is relevant to you. Did you hear the big news about Blizzard this week?
what?
So this is from Polygon. Blizzard reportedly resets development of Titan, its next generation MMO update. Blizzard is going back to the drawing board for its next generation massively multiplayer online game, codenamed Titan, according to a report from VentureBeat that says development on the game has been, quote, reset.
Wow, so they just started again with new people.
Yeah, I don't know what they're
I
doing.
don't know what reset means. Like, do they start from scratch? Or?
According to the report, Blizzard has whittled down the 100-person Titan development team to just 30 staffers, reassigning the rest to other projects. VentureBeat says that the core team has hit the reset button on the next-gen MMO, which is now expected no earlier than 2016.
That must be such a big decision to have to make. Just be like, this isn't working.
Do you know what game they did that with?
I know.
What's
No.
that?
Halo 2. Halo 2, they completely scrapped it 18 months before launch, and they started over again.
Wow.
That's unbelievable.
I think,
Yeah, they made that whole game in 18 months.
I think
That's
the
unbelievable.
original Halo was a similar story. Where I think the original Halo,
Well, because they were developing for Mac the whole time.
yeah, I mean, it was just a different game. They developed, I think, the original Halo in 12 months.
Wow.
And they did Halo 2 in 18.
unbelievable.
What a fantastic game for 12 months' work.
Jeez,
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Polygon has contacted Blizzard seeking comment on the status of its next-gen MMO. Blizzard has announced a handful of projects already in development, including the free-to-play online collectible card game Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft, ports of Diablo 3 for PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, Blizzard All-Stars, and another expansion for StarCraft 2 titled Legacy of the Void. How was the latest StarCraft?
I played through about 3/4 of Heart of the Swarm, and then I got sidetracked by other games.
It's funny.
When
Yeah,
was that?
God, that came out in February, I think. Yeah, and I just haven't gone back to it. I'm sitting there with a game that's like nearly done that I love, and it's just I got
It's funny,
pulled
like
away.
you hit certain cycles in the year where it's just sort of like, especially like November, where it's just like they all start coming out, and you don't get caught up again until like July.
I've been going back and like getting some of my games that are close to being 100%ed and just 100%ing them. I'm doing Flock right now in a Let's Play series with Ashley. And the other thing that I've been working on is Left 4 Dead 2. I have 2 achievements to get in that. I gotta get the 2 achievements associated with the Sacrifice DLC.
Okay.
Which, by the way, Blizzard's smart. They don't call their stuff DLC. It's all expansions and not
Yeah.
DLC. I can't think of any DLC that Blizzard makes. They still stick with the expansion, and it seems legitimate when you call it an expansion.
Yeah.
But anyway, not that Valve makes bad DLC. I mean, a lot of times they try to make it free if they can. But those last 2 achievements, I have to kill someone who's trying to sacrifice themselves. Spoiler at the end of that. And then I have to have all 3 generators running at once, which
Is that hard to do?
you would think that by now the people that are playing Left 4 Dead 2 would be pros. Nope. It's always
Yeah, when you hit that peak and it's like sort of past its peak, now it's much harder.
Now you're playing with a used game.
Yeah.
Now I seem to play. Here's what happens to me all the time. I play against a team of pros, and somehow my team is all their guest accounts, like all their parentheses 1 accounts. I don't even know how that would possibly work. It's like, how the fuck am I on with 3 guests?
That's not good.
You know,
That's
when
not a good sign.
We did those podcast Let's Plays with Left 4 Dead 2. I was like, I want to be smart about it. I'm going to go down to GameStop and buy some used copies. Used copies were $40.
I'm surprised they
Okay,
even
retain
had them.
value.
Yeah, the guy was like, whoa, I can't believe we had these. I was like, yeah, that's crazy. He was like, all right, $160. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, zombies are hot right now.
Zombies are hot. You know what'd be great to do for that is buy the used copy of Left 4 Dead 2. Don't move your feet and go, I'd like to trade this in, and see how much you can get for it immediately. Like, I mean, I literally haven't left the counter. How much is this worth? $5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
I thought zombies were hot.
Well, yeah, but we're oversaturated.
That's all a negotiation.
That other game I bought that we did Let's Play with that we haven't released yet, that one was $13.
The one we bought before.
The other one we did Let's Play, the one that you were on.
We have bought Left 4 Dead 2 so many times that what Left 4 Dead was I on?
No, the other one you did. The other game. I haven't announced it yet.
Oh, the other game that I was
Yeah.
on. Sorry, you lost me. I get what
Yeah.
you're saying now. The Left 4 Dead is digital on demand though. You should just download
Yeah,
it.
and then when I came to fucking put it on the Xboxes, I saw that it was on the store.
It
For like
seems
$20.
No,
Probably.
probably not that cheap. Maybe it'd be 29 though at this point. That's
Well,
a great game.
My favorite thing about your Flock Let's Play that you did is that whenever Ashley screws up, you just cut. Like, you cut all the mad out.
But
Like, if you were to yell at her, it's cut.
really? Nah.
Yeah.
There's no yelling. There's no yelling. That's that's later episodes.
You would get all the way down and she would smush a cow or something and you'd be like, and then it would cut to your next shot. I was like, well, something happened in there.
Well, don't worry. There'll be plenty of that in later
I
episodes.
look forward to it.
Oh my god.
We're
We're not gonna make it. We're not gonna make it.
During our Left 4 Dead 2 Let's Plays, we did one with Brandon that we lost video and audio for, which is a shame. So people were kind of confused. They didn't understand why in these two that we've released, we kind of start in the middle of the action. It's because all of the setup was in the initial one with Brandon. That was supposed to be
Right,
part
yeah, yeah.
one.
That was
and
our
then
intro.
We were just swapping people out as we were playing. So now the number parts 2 and 3.
I don't know if I philosophically agree with intros anyway. They just throw everyone off.
Well, I feel like the first one we released was good because it was you like getting that shot on that hunter. Like that just happened to be like you shot the hunter out of the air and Kara started asking which one she was.
Oh yeah, that worked out. Yeah.
You're just like, what I just did was amazing.
It's like we got to keep that in there. It's like I don't want to cut to like a lobby or a loading screen just to do the setup. It's like, okay, we hit record. All right, we may as well just start from here.
Lobbies are fun though. Lobbies are fun.
Lobbies are fun.
Like I think most of the ones we're doing now, like from Flock, is we just sit on that stupid loading screen. You know, and I feel bad. Like you and I talked about it. Gus and I learned a very valuable lesson early on. Is that at Rooster Teeth we've always had a culture. We haven't really talked about it too openly, but our philosophy is we only talk about the stuff we like and the stuff we have fun with, because we think that's just better, more entertaining experience. And we also learned early on when we were doing game reviews. You and I didn't write it. There's another writer that worked with us that wrote a very negative review of a game called Bloodwake. And like he was being silly, you know, and like trying to be over the top negative about the game and trying to make his article entertaining that way. And we got contacted by the developers of Bloodwake. And they said, you know, could you make the review a little bit more like tell us what's wrong with the game? You know, we had about 100 people, 150 people work on this game. And we were like, oh shit, we felt terrible about that. So it's like, even like a game with Flock that is super frustrating to play, I even say in the first Let's Play with it, I can't say it's a bad game, because if it's a bad game, I wouldn't be playing it anymore. I'd be giving up on it a long
that's the
time
point
ago.
of the game is to be frustrating.
It's supposed to be hard, right?
Yeah.
I mean, shit, I would never go back and play some of those Nintendo games, those platformers where you have to like make a pixel perfect jump. And I would never in a million years pick up Super Meat Boy. That looks awful, but I would never say it's a bad game. I know I'm going to push my controller through the front of my face at some point.
That's one of the best things about Rage Quit is that I can experience those games without having to be annoyed by
That's
them.
exactly
Just watch
right.
someone else get even more annoyed than I
My
am.
favorite parts of Rage Quit are when you get that glimmer of hope that he's going to be good at something, and it's just like taken away from
That's
him.
what's so good about his Crackdown video.
I know, he almost gets that horror.
Yeah.
And he's just like,
It was
Sorry,
genuine, like earnest. I'm going for this.
The yelling and like screaming is really funny, but I also like the sighs. Where it's just like he's trying to get, it's just like,
this is my life. This is what I've become. But so I forget where I was going with it. Oh, but the developer of Flock contacted me. The dude who
awesome.
made the game.
oh really?
Yeah, and he was just like, hey, we should come on the podcast and get grilled over Flock. And I'm like, oh man, I feel bad now. But it's like, you know, he's just happy
It's a
to see
good
somebody playing
game.
the game
It's a
after
good game and a
like,
great title.
5 years old. Yeah,
And a great
Flock, yeah.
title.
So it's been fun. That game is like aggravatingly fun.
So, you know, we're talking about Rage Quit. Isn't there a new Achievement Hunter thing, full play?
Full play. It's Michael playing all the way through a game. Because on the Let's Plays we move around so often from different games, and he's just going to play a game solo from beginning to end.
It'd be funny if he releases a video where there's just no dialogue. It's just totally quiet.
Or if it's just real time, like I stopped for 8 hours to sleep, so I just pause the game and you just like leave it on the pause screen.
If there's anyone who can talk to themselves for an hour, it's Michael. He has no dead air whatsoever.
Well, the thing is, though, it's like, I guess if it could be part of it where the game is bad and you just don't finish it or something. But there's a lot of games that never quite finished. If I'm making it for a video, I guess I would feel the need to. And he is playing Resident Evil for the first one, Resident Evil Revelations, which is a franchise that he loves. So I can't imagine he wouldn't finish it, but he could get to a game that he wouldn't finish, I guess.
Yeah.
What was the last game you didn't finish?
Heart of the Swarm.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, actually, Ni no Kuni.
Tomb Raider.
Fuck that game.
You didn't finish Tomb Raider?
No, I wanted to. Another game came out that I bought. And then I went back to Skyrim for some reason.
I think
Skyrim was on my list
Well,
too.
so what? This is what I was
So
gonna
Legendary
ask.
Edition comes out.
Is that
June 4th.
different? That's the same game though.
Yeah, I think it just has all the DLC.
What is the next Elder Scrolls? Is it the online
Scrolls
one?
Online.
And
Yeah.
that's like Elder Scrolls 6.
They announced that Bethesda announced they're no longer going to be developing DLC for Skyrim to concentrate on the next game.
And what-
They didn't say Elder Scrolls Online though. They just said the next game.
At what point, you haven't played a game, everyone else has played a game, enough time has passed where now you're too late? Is it to the point where the game announces that it's not going to release any new DLC?
think that
Is
is it.
that where it's like,
That's where the
I'm just
game's
not gonna
dead,
get,
right?
Like I started the first 12 minutes of the game, 12 minutes of the game, blah, blah, blah. Something came up.
Yeah.
Never
Now's the time to do it. I mean that's why they do this. I'm sure this Legendary Edition has
But-
all the DLC. It's like
Although
they've made a retail release for you, for people like you.
I want to play it. I hear nothing but good things about the
talking
game.
about Skyrim?
Yes. I hear nothing but good things about it. I want to play it.
play it.
I just don't know if I can budget the
Joel.
time.
I just finished it. It took me
It's
about
also-
8 months.
It's also 8 months. It's also a thing where it's like it's a single player deal, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like I don't know if I want to be a single player deal. for
I
that
have 500 gamer score. I'm aiming for the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
I think I've played for 112 hours at this point.
It took me 180 to finish it. About 180.
one. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a
I
lot
walked
of time.
140 miles.
It didn't take me that long to finish. I mean, I didn't do all of the ancillary side quests. I think I powered through it in 50 hours.
That's the other thing.
could.
is,
Oh, really?
That's the other thing is if you play a game and you kind of go through the beginning part where it sort of teaches you all the controls or whatever, and then you get on something else and you come back to it and it's like, well,
Yeah.
the game I don't remember any of the
And you
controls.
And the
It's
biggest
like, I don't know if
part
we're-
of that game is your inventory and what
Oh,
you've got
right.
and the stuff
It's
you've got
all
and the stuff you've
management,
thrown
right?
away. And then as soon as you come back in after months, you're like, which is the good
Also,
stuff that I've got?
I
Like,
feel like the tutorial in that game was a little lacking. Like they didn't teach you about the D-pad stuff.
yeah, I didn't
like,
know. I
that's-
didn't know
that's-
that.
that's a
Like left
complaint
and
I had
right
about-
on the D-pad.
Yeah, like you could add quick.
I
don't
knew
even know
about
what they're
that.
called. Like you can put like a specific spell or item on left and right
Yeah,
on the D-pad.
I knew about that.
That's
But they didn't do a good job of conveying that. I found it by accident in the menu system.
That's the thing.
me
Like
too.
I think a lot of games fail at that because it's sort of like you have one shot, and you're busy thinking about other things. It's just sort of like I feel like a lot of games I just sort of I don't know.
I played Fallout 3.
Yeah,
and they do
Fallout
the tutorial
3.
When you're in the vault and they have you shoot the cockroach.
Yeah.
In VATS and like you and you zoom in, you do VATS. You're like,
Yeah.
what is this? You click
Yeah.
it and it shoots it. I go, I'm not gonna use that. That's lame. And I played for like 3 hours with no VATS, and I was like, this combat
I did
system
the same.
sucks.
I did the same thing. And
Yeah.
at some point, I was like, I have to go back and learn this.
Yeah.
Finchlinch tweeted that I guess he restarted Fallout 3, and that really made me want to replay it. I really want to start a new Fallout 3.
people love.
I
that
never
game.
finished that either. Finchland has played that game like 6 times. I think.
think
at this
I-
Have you
point.
played Fallout 3?
I've finished all but one DLC.
Oh, okay. You didn't finish the
I
Mothership
didn't
Zeta?
finish the Mothership one.
Yeah.
I had some weird issue where I'd installed the DLC to a memory stick that I pulled out, and where I was stood in the game was in the DLC, and it just like everything went weird, and then I was signed out, and then I think my thing got corrupt somehow.
Yeah.
I just ruined it for myself.
I do hope I gotta do kind of a quick wrap up here on some stuff because we have 7 minutes left. But I do hope the Xbox One has a feature where you can say sync with all my DLC. And
Yeah.
Just get everything I'm gonna need to play this game.
Yeah. When we set up for our Let's Play with all the Left 4 Dead 2 consoles, I mean, it was an ordeal. I had to set up a line of them, like DLC, like updates, DLC, just to make sure we could all play together.
And if it used your save, and if like I had played a little bit of the Citadel, would you need the Citadel on there too?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if one person has the thing and then your friends don't, you have to go into like the download deal. And
Did you know this?
Thing and then there's a download.
This is weird,
I
right?
can't even talk about it.
I know
too-
it's got
too-
you vexed.
If you have the downloadable content for GTA 4, so you've downloaded Lost and Damned and Gay Tony, if you play Lost and Damned online, you can't play with someone who's playing the Liberty City, the episodes from Liberty City version on
That's
a
what I'm
disc.
saying, yeah.
You can't. You have to play with someone who's playing the DLC
Yeah.
version.
Yeah.
But they're not compatible.
Yeah.
So the disc version of Lost and Damned doesn't work with the
Wow.
downloaded version.
Really?
But for
Why?
Gay Tony, it does. Makes no
Oh,
sense.
Weird.
That is another thing to consider with the next generation of profiles coming out. It's probably not too important to you guys. You're not crazy about achievements. But like, what's a game that'll be on both the 360 and the Xbox One? GTA 5 maybe? They've said maybe?
No, GTA 5's not.
360.
Not
GTA
gonna be on
5's
360?
Yeah, no. Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking Xbox One. and
Let's just
PS4.
say, for sake of argument,
Wait a minute.
that GTA 5 will be on both the 360 and the One. Okay, let's just say for the sake of this
for the sake of
argument.
Is that
Yeah,
true?
Just a title.
I want to know that.
No, I
How
don't
about
know.
Call of Duty Ghosts?
Call of Duty Ghosts. Call of Duty Ghosts will probably be on
no,
both.
talk about
so
this.
if I was a Call of Duty player and then I decided to play it on the 360 or played it on the Xbox One, there's also going to be a different set of achievements for both. Like,
But
there's-
they said they're improving
Really?
the achievement system, so maybe it'll be a
Are
universal
you sure it's
achievement.
not?
system.
Isn't Xbox Live the platform? And
no,
isn't it,
Halo 2 has wait, but there's no
Wait.
Halo 2 achievements on 360.
This is a huge deal.
But no, on GTA 4 there's achievements, and on GTA 4 PC there's a different.
Yes.
It's the same achievements, but
It's two different
two
games.
different
but
games.
that's PC versus console. I would think on the console it would be unified.
Well, this is the first time we've had achievements crossing over a generation. This is the first time we've seen that.
I would think
Is it- is it?
like for Call of Duty, I would think the achievements are
360 introduced
universal,
achievements.
whether or not you get it on Xbox
really?
One
Yeah.
or 360.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be the same
Brilliant,
list
too.
for both games.
And then if you unlock it on one, you get. I mean, it's tied to your
we
Xbox
don't
Live.
we don't have
account.
any true confirmation as to how
No.
achievements are going to work on the next. That's a big question.
They better be smart about it.
I'm sure we'll have
Otherwise
some more
it's gonna be-
information at E3.
They have to be.
Ray's going to be sad.
They
Although
have to be smart about
if
it.
there was if it just became two lists like it is for PC and Xbox now, I think Ray would love that. He would just play both and then get double the achievements.
Yeah, you get like 2,000
double the gamer
points
score.
for
They can't do that, I don't think.
yeah. Ashley said, yeah, you can dupe. She's working Xbox. You can dupe achievements via 360 and games for Windows. You can duplicate achievements on stuff. All right, quick. You want to do a quick little roundtable of other stuff that's come up?
Sure.
You guys have any visibility on this Peter Molyneux thing that went down this last week with the Curiosity Cube?
What?
Okay, so he introduced this thing which was a cube, and people were like chipping away at it on a mobile app where everybody was chipping away to whittle this thing down. And was going to reveal something in
You
it.
tap?
Basically, you have a square and you tap. It's almost like folding at home.
Okay.
I looked at it very briefly. I'm not
Crowdsourcing a cube.
a promotional event.
So is everyone tapping the same cube?
No, they were all like, imagine like a big cube, and they're all like working on a little section of it, chipping it away. Then you get a new section, chip away that section. So it's like this thing is just getting whittled away by people all over the
Okay.
world, like a marble block. And they get to the bottom of it. And if I'm explaining this right, somebody correct me, or explaining it incorrectly, somebody correct me. And some dude in Scotland was the guy who got through to the middle, and it was for his new game called Godus, Godus. Apparently it's some kind of god game, and this dude in Scotland is now going to be the god of the overall game.
Wow.
And affect everyone's
That's
play.
so cool.
And he gets a portion of the sales, money of all the sales of the game worldwide. The prize for reaching the end of 22 Cans Curiosity Experiment is only temporary, developer Peter Molyneux told Rock Paper Shotgun. Last week it was revealed the winner of the cube clicking game would reign over Molyneux's upcoming title, Godus, as the game's titular god. However, the developer explained that the god role will be handed off to someone else later down the line.
So that's what is that going to be a full-time job? Like you have to quit your job to play God for a while in this game and then move
Well, if he
on?
gets a portion of the proceeds,
Yeah.
you know, for all the games sold worldwide,
you can't
it's
have
probably in his best interest.
You don't want your God to slack off, right? You want him to be there the whole time.
Smiling people.
You probably
People
don't want,
praying, there's no one there.
I
you
am,
probably don't want a Scottish god then. They kind of fucked up. I mean, the guy's from Scotland. What is the chance he already has a job?
So was
That's
it-
the guy right there, currently.
Was it a random chance, or was it someone? Did he like click the most?
I wish I knew more about this. I don't know that much about it. It might have been like he after they broke through, he was the guy who did the most amount of chipping.
I'm hooked. I'm curious. They got
It's
me.
interesting.
I think
I,
he was sleep clicking.
I care less about the game. I care more about all that thing that he just did.
Right. Another news article, they announced a pricing model for DayZ, the standalone version.
Hey,
This is from Polygon as well.
you have to murder your friend in order to.
So there's apparently 100 people in the alpha right now, and then people pay X amount of dollars, and they get early, cheap access to it. Then once it's beta, price goes up, say maybe $10 from there. Once it goes retail, the price goes up $10, Hall said. DayZ was previously expected to launch in 2012, and was then slated for launch before April. No news on when the current release date is for the standalone
I think
DayZ.
I had read that I didn't know that people were in the alpha already. I had read that they were going to expand the alpha in June, which is just a couple of weeks away at this point. But yeah, they also read that they wanted to follow the Minecraft model, like you described.
Yeah, they're saying the alpha mode will be released earlier than June. But the alpha release will be revisited that month once the server client architecture is completed and the situation is reviewed. Hall also discussed that DayZ's pricing model will work in increasing increments as each stage of the game's development is rolled out.
He climbed Mount Everest.
He did climb Mount Everest. That's in this article. What's up with that?
He took time off and went and climbed Everest.
You know, normally if a guy's got something in development, you're like, stay at your fucking job. But if he
BRB
climbs-
Everest.
I think he tweeted that.
Oh, did
I think he did before he left.
What is it?
BRB Everest.
That's fucking
Nice.
crazy. He went to the top of Everest.
Yeah.
Is it a point? Is it like
There's a summit.
You would jump.
It's not a point.
Is that a point?
No.
And then like flag?
Well, there's like a flat area, and then maybe there's like.
You would get to the top and jump, right? Just to be slightly higher than everyone else.
You take a ladder with you the whole way. Step ladder. Top of the ladder.
Think how much it would be worth it, and it would probably survive up there. To all that way in a backpack carry a penguin and put a fucking penguin at the top of Mount Everest, that would freak people out forever if they got to the top of Mount Everest and they run into a goddamn penguin.
Well, it's not going to survive up there,
It's
is
not
it?
going to survive. It's like no oxygen.
People would keep that going. They would bring it.
It'd be like, why is this dead penguin?
Penguin in a tiny gas
There's a
mask.
penguin skeleton.
There's some
No, it wouldn't
documentaries.
decompose.
What does this penguin skeleton look like? Just a bird?
I guess.
There's
a fucking dead bird in our parking lot.
It climbed Everest. There are some documentaries about actually climbing Everest that are the most fascinating, amazing
People
things ever.
shit
That
themselves
I
a lot.
almost. Yeah. It's a whole different subject, but God.
We're at our time.
Hey,
We have-
do we get an
we're gonna
achievement
wrap
for
this
that?
up.
Two more news items, then, if I may. Microsoft announced it has $1 billion to invest in exclusive Xbox One titles. That's what they've committed to invest.
Microsoft, I have a great idea for an Xbox One title. It'll only take $500 million.
It's called Pengo 2013.
It's called God Gus.
You have to climb to the top of Mount Everest with a penguin. And then the last news item is, I don't know if anybody's interested in the MMO Marvel Heroes, but they have suddenly delayed the launch of the game because they found serious issues in the game. Early access to Marvel Heroes, Gazillion's free-to-play
Sounds of villains.
action role-playing game has been delayed by, quote, serious issues discovered with the game, according to CEO David
Magneto.
Brevik.
Yeah.
Last week, we found some serious issues that we felt we could not launch the game with.
Yeah, they were getting close.
I'm totally fine
I
with
heard it was a
people doing
dead
that.
penguin.
All right.
That-
Well, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to our second episode, the first of the patch, and we'll be back next week, same time, 4 p.m. Wednesday. Bye.
Lego.